Hello and welcome to There Is No Book Club. I'm Amber and today I'm going to talk about this book, The Poppy War, written in 2018 by R.F. Kuang. I will avoid spoilers, but at the end there is a plot point that I'll touch on, so I'll warn you before that. The Poppy War is a fantasy novel with historical elements tied in. The book is divided into 3 parts, and each part has its own tonal shift and unique storyline. My personal favorite was part 1. I was really drawn in by the protagonist Rin and her backstory. She's a young girl trying to claw her way out of an oppressive system, and she's dedicated and resilient, but also naive. I found her character sympathetic, and I could feel myself really rooting for her and wanting her to succeed at all costs. On the topic of Rin, it might be best to quote the author here and use her own words, so I'll do just that. She has obstacles because she's at the bottom rung of society. She has things to fight against, and she has rage. And I mean righteous rage, well-justified rage, and a system to rail against, precisely because it's the system that has produced the worst things in her life. Now, while the book does focus on class and inequality, it's definitely a war story with a culturally rich landscape bursting with interesting characters. Rin's journey involves fierce competition, unnatural creatures, some lovable mentors, cliques, secrets, and the art of war. I really enjoyed the focus on martial arts, and I found myself really engaged in all of the training and fighting sequences. I actually would have enjoyed to see more of them. She's written these scenes incredibly well. The same goes for the magic system and the shamanistic abilities of certain characters. But there's still 2 more books to go, so I have a feeling I will be seeing more of that in the future. The story itself isn't extremely complicated or complex, and I know that could sound as a negative, but I don't mean it that way at all. If you're used to reading something like the Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson or maybe The Wheel of Time, this book will feel like a quick little jaunt that's over before you realize it. And to me personally, when I'm reading and I'm already halfway through and I can't stop, it's a good sign. And with this book, I feel like there is moments that's given exposition and it's put in where it's needed. It doesn't ever really feel excessive, but when it is introduced, it feels natural and organic, and I really liked that. It didn't feel over the top in terms of something like describing what every character looks like often or what their clothes look like. There are some moments of the book that feel slightly disjointed, but overall it didn't hinder my enjoyment. I found it really well written, and it's absolutely incredible that this is the author's first book. Now, I'm going to touch on a specific plot point, and while I'll keep it as vague as possible, it is a big moment of the book that affects the characters greatly, so if you would like to be left completely in the dark, I would recommend leaving now. There will be more book reviews and full spoiler live streams in the future, so be sure to subscribe. Okay, so there are some very dark things that happen in this book, and I would say that they are somber reminders of our real world past, and they will peel your eyelids wide open. Trigger warning, but I'm going to name a few of them, so here it goes. War crimes, rape, and assault. For this reason, I think people will lump this book into the grimdark category, but it's historically sound, and as much we would like to keep topics like these left to the past, it's a reality of current warfare, and I think it makes the book incredibly relevant to read now as we continue to see things happening in our own societies, things in wars that we would like to leave in the past. But after reading this book and doing a little Googling and looking at what the author's inspirations were for some of these moments, I came out feeling more educated and more knowledgeable for reading it and looking into these topics. So, if you are someone who enjoys history and isn't afraid to kind of look into darker things like this, I think this is a really great book. So, before I go, I just want to say thanks for watching. And if you like this, please like and subscribe. We will be back with a full spoilers live stream to talk about the full book, and I'll see you then.